Welcome back to the most amazing top 10 guys. My name is Danny Burke, and unlike this video, the guy behind me needs no introduction, but here it is anyway. He's been one of the most successful rappers in the world now for almost 20 years, and we've seen a lot of you guys asking us to talk about him, so here it is, here you have it, and here we go with our top 10 interesting Eminem facts. At number 10, Eminem recently celebrated the 16-year anniversary of his iconic Marshall Mathers LP. I didn't know that was a particularly big anniversary, 16 years anyway, but apparently it is for Eminem, and he's decided to release the Marshall Mathers LP again. You can get a cassette, a t-shirt, a dog tag, and a brick of his original house. His childhood home that you see on the album cover was torn down back in 2013, and Eminem seemed to have no interest in buying the property, but his team did save hundreds of bricks which went on sale with the re-release of the Marshall Mathers LP, but they've already sold out of all 700 of them. Sorry to get your hopes up, but you can still get the dog tags. Yeah, I know, you won the bricks. Coming in at number 9, in 2001, a man named D'Angelo Bailey tried to sue Eminem for $1 million for slander that humiliated him and ruined his own rap career because Eminem called him out as his high school bully. In the song Brain Damage, Eminem raps that D'Angelo harassed him every day and broke his nose in the school bathroom. Now, he admitted to all of this bullying, but still decided to sue Eminem anyway. How does that work? The judge saw right through it and dismissed the whole case, and that's why you shouldn't bully people, guys, and then try to sue them for telling people. Yeah, just saying. Moving on now, the average labour that a mother goes through when she gives birth is about 8 hours long. At number 8, it took Eminem 73 hours to be born. His mother, Debbie Mathers Briggs, was just 17 when she gave birth to Eminem. The whole process was pretty traumatic by the sounds of it. Debbie herself described it as a living hell and said that she almost died from the whole ordeal. Now, Eminem and Debbie both made it through, but he was said to be a very sickly baby that needed a lot of medical attention. At number 7, Eminem has quite often talked about how his dad walked out on him and his mother when he was 6 months old, but in 2002 there was a bit of a spanner thrown into the works when the News of the World newspaper published an open letter to Eminem from his father. He said that everything his mother had told him was a lie and that she was the one that took off and left him, leaving him searching for her and his son. He said he had moved on, remarried, and had 2 children, and it wasn't until 2002 that his children pointed out that this up-and-coming rap star had the same name as their dad, Marshall Mathers. He then picked up a copy of Rolling Stone, and sure enough, there was his ex-wife Debbie holding his son. And that's when he knew he was Eminem's father and decided he wanted to see him again. But Eminem has said in a number of interviews that he has no interest in seeing his father, and many fans are wondering, why did his father wait until Eminem was already famous to make a real effort to see him? Now, I personally don't blame Eminem for not wanting to see him though. Feels like too little too late. At number 6, the first rap song Eminem ever heard was a 1984 song called Reckless, which featured Ice-T. Now, I've listened to it, and it's kind of the old school rap that is a lot closer to spoken word poetry, and in case you're wondering, it sounds nothing like Eminem. This record that inspired Eminem to become a rapper was given to him by his uncle Ronnie Polkinghorne, who sadly committed suicide in 1991. That's the Uncle Ronnie that he references in the song Stan. I read about your Uncle Ronnie too, I'm sorry. That's the one. I've said that lyric probably about 1,000 times and never known where it came from. Next up, for number 5, Eminem has OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder, which is where a person feels obsessively compelled to do something even if they don't need to, affects about 2% of all people, and Eminem is counted among that number. In an interview with Rolling Stone, he said his OCD was self-diagnosed when he noticed he had developed obsessive habits after he quit his addiction to prescription drugs. He said he will sometimes spend hours and hours tweaking with the sound on a drum snare by just 0.1 decibels because he wants it to be just right, even though he knows nobody will hear the difference except him. He said that sometimes the producers have to actually prise the album out of his hands to release it, otherwise he'd just be messing and fiddling with it forever. I personally feel bad for him. It is a disorder, but if your disorder is making your music perfect, that's not the worst thing in the world. Coming Coming in at number 4 now, a lot of Eminem fans may have heard him reference his addiction to prescription drugs that helped him cope with the stresses of touring and fame. After taking an almost fatal overdose of methadone, Eminem turned to an unlikely source for help. He called 70s rock legend and gay icon Elton John for help. Eminem said he contacted him because he knew Elton had gone through substance abuse himself in his heyday. It seems that not only did Elton's advice help Eminem get clean, but they also formed an unlikely strong friendship, and Eminem said he still calls Elton for advice to this day. I'm happy that friendship exists. It's like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Nice. At number 3, Eminem has made it clear that Slim Shady is his alter ego, and a character that he created to express the darker side of himself. He began to turn to Slim Shady as an outlet for the frustrations in his own life as he battled drug addiction, poverty, and not being allowed to see his own daughter. He first thought of the Slim Shady character while he was on the toilet, and the first thing he did was get up and call everyone he knew to tell them about it. Moving on to number 2, Eminem said he doesn't know how to use a computer. In a 2010 interview with Spin magazine, he said that he wouldn't even know how to turn one on, and that the only YouTube videos he's ever seen are the ones that his friends showed to him. So how does someone, even a massive rap star like Eminem, justify not being able to turn on a computer in this day and age? Well, it's not out of laziness or ignorance. In fact, it's the complete opposite. He said he knows what happens on the internet and that there are people out there who make very nasty comments about him or mean videos, and he feels that if he learned how to use a computer now, he said he would spend all day looking at comments about himself and that it would drive him crazy. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. I might see if I can unlearn how to use a computer so that I never have to see a nasty comment about me again. And finally at number 1, for those of you that think Eminem is not a violent gun-toting criminal, I'm afraid to burst your bubble. At age 20, he was arrested for being the driver in a drive-by shooting, except the guns were paintball guns. Yeah, and the paintballs, well, they didn't even break the skin. Still though, this was enough to get Eminem arrested because you can't do that. It was his first run-in with the law. He turned up to court with his accomplices to see what the verdict was, but the victim was a no-show and the judge just dismissed the case. Well, personally, I'm glad that Eminem turned away from his life of paintball crime and chose to pursue a career in rap. It's been one crazy story so far, and it doesn't really look like it's coming to an end anytime soon. I love this guy. I know way too many of his lyrics than I'd like to admit, and I know some of you are probably the same. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, then give it a thumbs up. It means the absolute world to us, and I want to know, who do you want us to cover next? Let me know down below. Make sure you subscribe, and as always, my name's Danny Burke. You can find me on Instagram somewhere down there, and I'll see you guys in a bit.